Hey everybody, this is Daniel from Tuba and Brass, and I'm super excited to be hosting this week's Excerpt Challenge. Now, we've done a few of these already, but I figure we should just go over the rules because it's been a minute. So as the winner of the last challenge, I get the opportunity to pick what excerpt everybody else is going to be playing, and also judge them along the way. They each get 5 minutes to practice the music, and then they have to perform it kind of like an audition. After that's all done, I'll get to pick a winner, and they'll be the host of the next Excerpt Challenge, and also take home every little last piece of bragging rights that we have. So with that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about this week's challenge. Now, there are a ton of really great horn excerpts that I'm hoping to get to at some point, but one particular member of the group has been complaining about not having bass clef to play in. So I aim to please, and I picked something that was really in the basement of the horn register for this week. Our excerpt is the low horn part from Shostakovich Symphony No. 5. So this excerpt is a staple on practically every single horn audition in the entire world, so you're bound to run into it at some point, and that's really because the entire section in this part is playing unison the whole time, except for the very last phrase. So when you get to play it in the orchestra, it's a lot easier because you're able to rely on your colleagues to provide some of the punch and the power. But when you're playing it in an audition, it's really important to show that you by yourself can play with a huge amount of power, articulation, and clarity down in that low register. So I think this excerpt will be really, really interesting to see what instrument performs the best, mostly because it has an incredibly wide range. It stretches a whole 3 octaves on the French horn. So it might be really hard for some of these people, especially, I don't know, maybe the trumpets when it's super low, or the tuba when it gets to that higher stuff. We'll have to wait and see. Last thing before we jump into everybody's performance, here's how I perform Shostakovich 5. And that's all there is to it. So now that you've got that in your ears, let's jump in and see how these guys do. In 3, 2, 1. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with Chris. I figure we'll go high to low in terms of instruments for this one. I think that'll be pretty interesting.
I got the excerpt right here on the stand, so let's go 5 minutes on the clock, starting right now.
Boom. Good luck,
All right,
Chris.
So without further ado, let's get into this. If I were to play this at the right octave, I believe it would sound like this.
Beautiful embouchure. Beautiful sound. Mwah.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen. It feels good, though. Okay, it feels pretty good. So I think one of the challenges for me already is going to be like not getting overly blown out by all these low notes, because then I got to switch registers in this next line here.
We'll see if he works on this more, but I think he should put a little more articulation
and not too,
on the front of the note.
Spread. Let's keep going on.
So that articulation that he just used throughout that section should be in place basically the entire time. Sounds really good like that.
And that's tough to do. Oh, that's a piano.
And he's got to go even higher still.
Try that. Now we got some choices to make here. Do we end it screaming high like the horn is, or do we take it down the octave?
Come on, man. Go for it. Boo.
Easy money. I'll try it up the octave, though. Let's see.
My man. Almost there.
That seems about right for like what the horn kind of sounds like. It's pretty screamy.
Oh yeah, we sound like that. Thanks, Chris.
I want to win though, so I think I'm gonna do that down the octave.
He's playing the strategy. Okay,
that's just a lot to
respect
come
it.
out of.
My favorite part is watching how his eyebrows change throughout the registers. That's the secret to everything.
Boom. All right, so I'm excited. All right, so without further ado, here's SHOSTY 5.
Good luck, Chris. I believe. He picked a good tempo. It's nice. It's good articulation down there. Sounds good. It's a nice subito mezzo piano. Really nice. He got up there. All right.
I was
sounded
pretty happy
good.
with that. Yeah. I wish I could do that up the octave at the end, but it just, I don't know. For me, I lose the focus of being able to like, hit those high notes, especially playing like all those low notes that come before it. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm just a little bit of a wimp, but that's my SHOSTY 5. Hope you enjoy.
Nicely done, Chris. All right. So even though he did wimp out and take, the lower octave, I think overall it was a really, really solid rendition. He had a good tempo. Notes were all there. I think if you played it a little bit louder, that might be nice. Demonstrate a little bit of that power that we're looking for. But overall, really good. He had the poco animando in the right spot. Good dynamic changes. Pretty much all you can ask for with this one. So good job, Chris. This will be another fun one. He's got a crazy range. So we saw Chris was struggling a little bit with the range and had to change things around a little bit. But Alex, I think, can do it. So let's see how this goes.
All right. So at first I was really excited to see this excerpt. I love SHOSTY 5. It is such an exciting piece.
Oh, no.
The problem here is that even though it's written in bass clef, it's transposed. It's and nowhere on the sheet music that Skip gave us does it say what the transposition is. I'm assuming we're winging it. This is trombone trying to print transposed.
Trombone's so cool. I wish I played it. This seems to sit really, really well for him.
That's a half step. Then a whole step. Then a half step, whole step.
So the part he's worried about. He's moved into treble clef at this point.
Let's go from the C.
I'm sure his brain is on fire, working overtime. Confusion. My sound is just so
yes.
clear.
Oh, you were so
nice.
close. And this is what I was afraid of. So we have a written F sounding B flat, written F sharp sounding B. And that's just, I don't know, that's a lot of mind games for me. I don't like that.
All right. I love it. You love to see it. SHOSTY 5 time.
Don't feel like I accomplished much more in my 5 minutes than really figuring out what the notes are, so we'll see how this goes.
Tempo might be a little quick for me, but the sound is good. Well done, Alex.
Woo! We got the caffeine jitters all over today. Cheers.
So, of course, he got all the proper octaves in place, which is great. You love to see that. So the tempo was a little funky. I think he started a bit quick, and then that made the poco animando in the middle not really stand out. So it kind of sounded like he didn't do very much with that speed up. And there should be some. It should be definitely noticeable. Nothing crazy, but it should be noticeable. Again, for him, if he could play it a little bit louder, a little bit bigger, I think that would be beneficial. But yeah, this is proving to be a difficult excerpt for everybody. Not a lot of real technical challenge, nothing, like crazy with the fingers or the slide that you have to do. But there's a lot of other things to consider when playing Shostakovich 5. All right, so last but certainly not least, we have the man himself who has been complaining about not getting to play in the bass clef.
Let's jump in. I got 5 minutes on the timer, and away we go.
Here we go, Cam. The focus of the tuba player. Boom. I've always thought this excerpt would sound really, really cool on tuba.
And that is where we lose our bass clef. So I think I have the transposition written correctly here. Let me just go back and work on the bass
For the
clef
most part.
again.
That low note is wild. I feel like it doesn't really exist. That was nice there. On that last whole note, Cam put a little bit of a crescendo in there. Just because this music is kind of intense and it's written forte for the most part, doesn't mean you can't put some musicality in there. It's a really nice dynamic change by Cam. Wrong note.
Okay then.
Well, that was weird.
That is my time. So I'm going to jump into the full take. The big thing for me on this, I think, is going to be tempo more than anything else. Assuming I have all the right notes. I'm not even entirely sure I do. But really getting the tempo, that's kind of what I'm going to be thinking about.
Definitely right about the tempo. This is a little slow. Nice.
I guess that's all I got. Okay. Thank you for the challenge, Dan.
My thoughts, a couple note things to double check. He'll go over those transpositions. Not like he'll ever need to play this for anything serious. But overall, a valiant effort from my friend Cam. Maybe now he will stop complaining about bass clef. All right, so we made it through the whole challenge, and the results pretty interesting, I'd say. Everybody, I think, did something really well on their own. I think Cam had the best dynamics and the most variation in that sense. Alex was really good style, and he had the full range of the horn to take up, which was really nice. And then Chris was really clear, really clean, and really consistent all the way throughout his performance. But in the end, there has to be a winner. And this one's really tough. I've gone back and forth about 80,000 times, but I think I'm just going to go with my gut and decide that the winner of this Shostakovich 5 Excerpt Challenge will be Chris. It was tough. Chris, I think, overall, you changed the octaves, which was the biggest thing I had going against you. I think that's fine. You had a really clear sound, really nice sound in all the registers that you played in. So congrats. Thank you so much for watching today's Excerpt Challenge. If you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and leave a like, and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. From all of us at Two Button Brass, thanks and see you next time.